Hello, everyone. It's your sister Roland, and all I need is a few minutes to talk about this story about this young man, L.A. Capone, aka Leonard Anderson. So I came upon his story in the documentary that this young man by the name of LJ did, the history between Tuckerville and Old Block. If you want to go watch that, but I have yet to finish the documentary because, as I said in my little B video, it's very overwhelming because of all, because I'm not used to stuff like that, because of all the young lives that were lost, all the potential. I mean, it was just overwhelming. So this was right up until the part that I stopped. I heard about, he mentioned his story, Leonard's story, and many things just didn't sit well with me. Like a lot of questions that I have. And then doing the research that I did on this young man's life, not trying to glorify this genre or culture or whatever you may call it, drill rap. But I guess like long time when I used to hear these stories, certain things that happen to people in, maybe the gangs, I would say another one bites the dust. That's another one gone. We don't have to deal with. That's up until the time that I took this course actually about trauma, and then I get to see things in a different light, I guess. And this young man, who, if he was still alive, would have been 26 years old. He lost his life when he was 17. He was his only mother's son. She had daughters. I think she had 4 daughters or 5 daughters, but he was the only son. And she said that from the time he was small, she bought him a gold crown, and she told everybody to call him king. So now everybody calling people kings and stuff like that. But she said everybody called him king, and she treated him as such. And before he had lost his life, he had got hurt before, like the year before, probably around the same time. And the uncle was saying, and even his friend Tay 600 was saying, when they went there, he was laughing. It was not as bad as this time. And even with the second time when he actually lost his life, people didn't. I guess they didn't really take it serious at first because it happened before, and then like the uncle said, he said something told him, you need to go. And then when he arrived at the hospital, he had lost his life. And even up until the time that he lost his life, this is just a background for people who don't know. Up until the time he lost his life, his uncle had introduced him to the studio, which was in the Ops neighborhood. But before that, he had spoken to the person who owns the studio, like my nephew gonna be coming here. When he comes here, make sure there's nobody here when he's doing that. Obviously, he probably may have had to pay like an extra fee, because if I have people coming here, you want your nephew to be the only one. He probably had to pay a little bit extra. But he tell him, don't ever let anybody be there when Leonard is recording. And it's alleged that Leonard was calling for weeks because he had a song he needed to drop, he had a song he needed to record, and the guy would never pick up the phone. And out of the blue, he just called him and say, you could stop by. And then I guess because he really needed to record the song, and he went in. When he went there was somebody there, and it's alleged it was one of the ops. And it's alleged also that this I'm not sure if that's the person or somebody in there called the rival and said that Leonard was in there dissing them. And after he finished record his song, and he went out in the alleyway looking for his ride, and Little Mick, because I believe Little Mick of the other rival, sneak up on him and said nowhere to run, and hit him in his leg and back. That's another thing that don't sit well with me, but I'll get there. But they said it was four sounds. But anyway, I guess they ran off, and then whoever was supposed to be picking him up said that he was crying because when the mom came up to him, when the mom went to see him in the hospital, she saw he had dry tears. And then he was warm to the touch. He wasn't cold to the touch. He was warm to the touch. And because he said that, tell my mom I love her because I don't think I'm going to make it. And even when I was listening to the mother talk about it, she was like, when she went to see him, and he was covered like a baby. He was covered from the neck down. And they told her, don't touch him. Don't touch him. You can only touch from the neck up because he is evidence. And I was like, wow. All the importance that we are, everything that people love about us, everything that we could do is because we only have the breath of life in our bodies. As soon as it's gone, to some people we are nothing. We may be something precious, something that we love to other people that know us. But they told the lady, don't touch him. He is evidence. And this is somebody's son. This is somebody's brother. This is somebody's best friend. This is somebody's nephew. And they say he's evidence. And the mom said that I guess it came to her mind, let me cut some of his dreads because he had dreads. Just in case, somebody comes along and say they have a child for him. And if he does have a child there, that child most likely gonna look like them because that family has strong genes. You can tell all of them are related. So if he were to have a child there, definitely, yeah, they got some strong genes. I mean, that's like, when you make the child by yourself, they got strong genes. But so many lessons that I can pull out from this story, because a lot of people, I'm from a Haitian culture, and now we make jokes online how Haitian parents are, as soon as they have a dream, you ain't going nowhere. Don't think you're going nowhere. If they got a dream, they had a dream for you, and this is literally true. If they have a dream for you, you can't go nowhere. If they have a funny feeling, you ain't going nowhere. And this is what we have to do, raising kids in the times that we're living in. Because sometimes you have to be, in a sense, paranoid raising children, especially if this child has some type of potential to make it great. Because this young man was very, very talented, a great lyricist, very, very talented. And this mom said he started reading and writing from the age of 4. So she's like, many people think that, he was just good like that. He said he was very, very intelligent. And going back to what I say, when you have a child so talented, whether they are able to rap, sing, in athletics, academics, whatever it may be, just like people see that, wow, because the mom was like, she finally got to listen to his rap, and she's like, wow, this boy gonna go someplace. And everybody was saying this about him. But just as people see that you gonna be great, you're gonna do great things, there are people also that see that and want to take you out and want to eliminate you and want to make sure that you never ever reach your goals, reach your dreams. And this is where we have, as parents, sometimes have to be very, very careful in the sense of sometimes who our kids hang out with. If you have that feeling, I don't think you should go out. Because while, yes, your child has a potential to make it, there is also potential that they won't make it. And sometimes you have to go above and beyond in a sense to have your child to make it in this world, which you shouldn't have to do, but sometimes that's what you have to do. And yes, there was measures put in place, like the uncle, but this, you couldn't stop this. It was this guy that called and said that, Leonard was here dissing y'all. So yes, he put measures in place, but he still ended up losing his life. So when you do have a future, and then people, when people don't see you, you don't have a problem like that. When you doing the work, putting in the work and rapping, and people don't see you, you don't have a problem yet. But as soon as people start to see you, people start to talk about you, that's when you have to move strategically. That's why you have to be careful, where you go, who you hang out with, because you have all eyes on you. And trust me, I don't have no sides. I'm not taking sides, because I know Lil B was on the other opposite side, and he was on. I don't have no sides. It was just certain things that just stuck out to me in some of these young men's story that I just wanted to go do more research and talk about. So I have no sides here at all. But anyway, the uncle was saying there are people who are calling him and saying, "Oh, you don't see young boy took your nephew's style, how you listen to young boy," and different things like that. But somebody has to do it. Somebody has to carry on this young man's legacy or style, because he won't be able to do it. Even though of course, I don't condone the things that they was rapping about, but how unique he was, how different he was. And sometimes people who may have known him, except for Tay 600, I see Tay 600 or Tay Capone, I think he goes by the name of, is focused on his music, and trying to carry on and try to do things that LA won't be able to do, because in a sense, this is how you honor somebody that lost their life that you were close with. You continue what they can't do anymore. You would think that Rondo number 9 would have continued, because he said that's what he was gonna do in his song Life of a Savage. But then it wasn't even 6 months he got caught up with this thing with C-Day. And then now he's going to spend 39, 40 years in prison. And I'm like, if suppose, because the mom was saying, after Leonard left this earth, it's like everybody, in a sense, scattered. I guess he kept everybody together. And this young man was, even though he was rapping and stuff like that, very smart young man. He made the honor roll and everything, and he got his diploma posthumously. Can't pronounce the word. But after he left this earth, he got his diploma, because he got enough credits to get his diploma. So while he was doing these stuff, he was still working on his education, which not a lot of people do, if we really think about it. So he was still working on his thing, and a teacher said that sometimes stuff would like a altercation may want to break out, and then Leonard would come and say, "We can't do this. We in school." So he had like a foundation, a good foundation, a good foundation. But as we know, we have little kids, these kids, young men, young women, they are impressionable. So even though you may raise them in a certain way, but they can turn any which way if they hang out with certain people or certain groups of people. So sometimes you just have to watch who they hang out with, and hopefully your influence is much greater than everybody else. And back to the young boy thing, yes. So they said that young boy took his style and stuff like that. But sometimes, what I notice when we have people that with so much talent, they talented, they're gifted in certain things. Sometimes the people who are close to them usually don't carry on their legacy, or not able to. There'll always be one LA Capone, but look how allegedly young boy took on his style. And the young boy is really, young boy, when young boy drops something, his stuff gets a lot of streams. And sometimes it's somebody else who was not close to the person that continues and promote what this person was doing, not a lot of people next to them, because we have a different way of how we choose to honor the person. Oh, I'm gonna drink, I'm gonna light this up, I'm gonna do a diss track, but we don't say I'm gonna stay focused on if I'm gonna rap, if I'm gonna ball, if I'm gonna play football, whatever it is, let me focus, because I'm doing it for this person because they can't do it anymore. We don't see it that way. And with the when he went to the hospital, it's alleged that he got hit in the back and in the leg, and he was rushed to the hospital. And everything I'm gonna say here is a bunch of scenarios, okay? And like I had said, I believe in the Little B video, I said that there's a lot of these young lives that are being lost. Somebody's profiting off of them a lot. And sometimes you may think that, hey, you got hit in that area, you couldn't do anything to save him. But if you don't know, some parts of certain people are very lucrative, and there are there might be certain facilities in certain areas. Not everybody has insurance. You may just have what the government gives you, and if you have worked in billing, you know that some of those programs do not pay. You could literally charge $200 for a procedure, and then they give you $1. But it's so much people that they pay for, so you may get a $13,000 check, $20,000 check, but when you look in the details, you literally got paid for, you didn't get paid at all. And sometimes these places may rely on, hey, yeah, we could do things to, maybe save this person, but hey, we're gonna miss out on $1 million. We're gonna miss out on $200,000 to $500,000. This is all scenarios that I'm just putting out there. Don't pay me no mind. And then they don't make an effort to save the person. That's just me thinking out loud. I'm just thinking out loud. But let's continue. And one thing I did know is, I'm not sure if the mom still continues this, but when Zach TV, he had lost his life back in 2018, I believe. So yeah, he was one of the people that really pushed a lot of these young men to the forefront and brought, this drill music, which I don't agree with, but really, shed some light on these young men and, made a way for a lot of them. And he was with the mother, and she trying to use Leonard's name in a positive manner, where she was giving she would give free chicken every Sunday from a certain time. I'm not sure if she continues this, but this is another. That is the way when I say to honor the person, honor them in that way, continue things that they are unable to do. That's what you do. Yeah, you could party and stuff like that, but continue the things that they are unable to do. Honor them in a more positive manner. And last thing to say, sometimes even if, and there's certain stuff that we choose to use our talents for, most of the time it doesn't work out. Like yes, you're talented to rap and sing, but then we need to remember words have power. Our words have power, and then if you're rapping about certain lifestyles, certain things that you're doing, know that you may see the fruit, because we will see the fruit of what comes out of our mouth. That's why you have to be careful with certain things that we say. So yeah, sometimes that's what, because we know a lot of these trail rap, that's all they rap about, doing a lot of bad stuff. And in the clip, in a little clip that you saw, that's not the pictures, but with them in a room, most of those, I believe everybody in that little 15-second clip is either they're no longer here or they're in jail. And sometimes with this rap thing, that's your fate. It's either you in jail or you're no longer here. It's just a few people that actually make it out when they completely remove themselves from that lifestyle. And then sometimes the person want to do something positive, but people don't support it. You want the person to be rapping about certain stuff and living this lifestyle and actually doing these things so that people could support them. People don't like positive things for some reason. Anyway, that's all I had to say on this situation, Fad situation. Especially the way he went out. I will always send my condolences. That's what I can do to the people that he left behind. But rest in peace. The way that he went out, I'm sure he did not went out in a peaceful way, because that was his. I believe there was a first 48 episode about it, last rap, and that was literally his last rap, and was not even aware that this was going to happen to him. And then with those dried tears, tell my mom I'm not going to make it. That's not a peaceful day. That's not a peaceful way to go. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.